My wife's heart rate hit 172 during a quiet budget meeting. Her heart rate hit 172 during a quiet budget meeting. And mine hit panic during leftover lasagna. The GPS swore she was at the office, which recently migrated across town into a building with a suspicious doorman. I told myself I wasn't paranoid. I was just reading numbers like a concerned accountant with commitment issues. Then her watch chirped, "Great cardio with Marcus." I stared at the screen while my dignity and blood pressure raced each other. Okay, I thought. Confirm the whispering data without going full raccoon. Test the lie gently, gather proof quietly, and keep my voice calm while the watch does the yelling. The routine crack. The routine didn't break, it frayed. Threads at first, late nights that arrived like pop-ups, a new perfume that smelled like a boutique apology, Tupperware returning suspiciously spotless, as if the leftovers eloped. She'd say, budget meeting ran long, and I'd nod like a supportive spreadsheet. Cool. Numbers are hard. Marriage is harder. Denial is easiest. Months earlier, we'd synced a health app to compete on steps. Adorable, right? I signed up to win Saturdays, not audition as a detective with a Fitbit badge. Then the app started chirping at off hours. At 11:42 p.m., her watch bragged, "Longest active streak," in a tone I'd describe as smug confetti. Active doing what? Inventorying receipts? Because the only thing getting balanced was my sanity. I asked a harmless question. How'd the budget go? She fumbled the timeline like a rookie quarterback. Started at 6, maybe 7, short meeting, definitely 2 hours. She smiled like we were playing. I smiled like a ventriloquist dummy whose puppeteer quit. Meanwhile, little signs kept firing tiny party cannons in my head, each flag reading, "Dude." On paper, I wanted reassurance. In reality, I wanted my stomach to stop doing kettlebell swings. The blocker was her charm and a stack of plausible classics. Traffic, dead phone, client meltdown, that mysterious coworker named everyone. Consequence if I ignored it? I become the clown who fist bumps a smartwatch that celebrates midnight cardio meetings. So I audited the data. If you're going to lie, don't sync it to the cloud. I pulled weeks of heart rate graphs, GPS breadcrumbs, step counts, the works. Calendar. Client dinner at Lento's. GPS. A residential street I recognized from an old photo, Marcus's building. Cute. I called Lento's. On hold to passive-aggressive jazz. Hostess returns, polite as a doily. We're closed for renovations. No risotto. No receipt. My appetite for denial dimmed. She texted a dim selfie. Wine glass, soft bouquet, generic restaurant vibe. I zoomed like a gremlin. In the reflection behind her, a hallway, not a dining room. A shoe rack. Restaurants famously love shoe racks. There was a framed cityscape with a tiny nick in the corner. The same nick from Marcus's finally hung art Instagram story. I don't follow him. The algorithm stalks me. I breathed. In through the nose, out through do not send a paragraph. I built a baseline. Work calls, 80 to 95 BPM. Yoga nights, low 90s, sure, mindful sweating. Real workouts, 140 to 160. Then came quiet meetings, with heart rates that looked like sprinting from a goose holding a knife. I called during one. Declined. Heart rate jumped 20 beats like it saw a bill. She sent the neutral face emoji, which is menu code for no more questions. The graph stayed elevated. Hard-working spreadsheets, apparently. Coincidences applied for a job. Could be stress. Could be stares. Could be she suddenly discovered burpees while discussing amortization. I needed a pattern, so I built rules. Any quiet block over 160 BPM equals red alert. Over 140 for 10 minutes equals yellow flag. Sleep mode plus more than 100 steps? Circus music. The app gifted a microstory. Outdoor run at 7:48 p.m. She hates running. Her cardio philosophy. If I'm running, assume bear. The route curved neatly to Marcus's building. Pace leisurely. Heart rate rising like a balloon with delusions of grandeur. I screenshotted. Then I set digital tripwires. Shared notifications on. Find my device, one accidental tap away. If her phone cozied up to a TV named Marcus's living room. That's not decor, that's plot. Next Thursday slid in with jazz hands. She said client dinner, Lento's. The GPS drifted, stalled, then parked at Marcus's. I called Lento's again, still closed, still polite. She sent, crowded but fun. I replied with a thumbs up because the sarcasm doesn't travel via LTE. I lined up a 2-column note. Narrative versus numbers. Narrative, dinner, bad service, phones in basket. Numbers, building name, hallway reflection, outdoor run, heart rate spikes, doorman who hates eye contact. Which side shows its work? I almost drove over. I pictured an argument under fluorescent lobby lights while a bored doorman earned combat pay. I put my keys down. I wasn't auditioning for the role of viral fern guy. I was building a mosaic. When you step back, tiles form a face. This one looked like honesty on vacation. I tested the tech too. I wore her backup watch, shook my wrist like a maraca. Heart rate barely budged. Climbed stairs twice. It spiked and settled, predictable. Put it on the dog. The data looked like jazz written by a squirrel. Conclusion: steps can be dumb. Heart rate is a narc. By then my folder, receipts because I'm tired, looked like a science fair. Graphs, dots, timestamps, emojis of doom. I teased lightly. Lentos is so exclusive they're closed. She laughed. We went somewhere else. Where? Can't remember. The kind of noun allergy you develop when verbs get suspicious. I didn't blow it up. I set boundaries in my head. No accusing, only exhibits. Let her talk first. Let numbers nod along. One more Thursday. One more budget meeting. If the heartbeat kept singing, I'd finally stop clapping. The first data glitch, GPS mismatch. Thursday arrived like a smug calendar invite. Client dinner at Lentos, she said, which is adorable because Lentos has been in witness protection behind caution tape for weeks. I opened the shared calendar, nodded at the lie like it paid rent, and pulled up her little blue GPS dot. It drifted, stalled, then settled on a quiet residential street that smells like lemon cleaner and broken promises. Marcus's building. Not risotto, not even breadsticks. Just a lobby that judges. I told myself to use my indoor voice. I called Lentos anyway, because sometimes hope needs to be put on hold to jazz. The hostess reappeared with her now familiar apology bouquet. Still closed for renovations. No tables. No tips. No mercy. I thanked her like I was practicing for sainthood and hung up on my own denial. A text from my wife landed. Dim selfie, wine glass, warm light that screamed somebody's lamp. Not restaurant overhead. Caption: crowded but fun. My thumb hovered over sarcasm. Instead, I zoomed in like a gremlin. In the framed photo's reflection behind her, a hallway. No tables, no servers, a skinny shoe rack doing community theater as proof. And the art. Black and white cityscape with a Nick on the corner. The same Nick Marcus bragged about when he finally hung art. I don't follow him. The algorithm stalks me with bad taste. I dialed her. Straight to voicemail. The health app chimed in with a cheery banner, while her heart rate hopped from low 90s to 120 like it saw the check arrive. I said to an empty kitchen, "Must be a very inspiring appetizer." The microwave beeped in solidarity. She texted, "Service is spotty. Talk later." The exclamation point worked hard. I sent a thumbs up because I'm fluent in passive agreements. Meanwhile, the watch announced outdoor run at 7:48 p.m. like it was introducing a headliner. She hates running. If she's running, assume a goose with a switchblade. The route curved neatly from near her office to Marcus's door. Pace, scenic gossip. Heart rate, steadily climbing toward this isn't budgeting. I opened a note titled Narrative versus Numbers and started my 2-column romance. Narrative, client dinner, crowded, phones in a basket, spotty service. Numbers, Lentos closed, GPS at Marcus's, hallway reflection, shoe rack cameo, outdoor run to not running, heart rate spikes. I wasn't even angry, I was busy. The GPS dot pulsed like Morse code for you know this. I flicked to satellite view and got a clear shot of the building's brick. Same crooked mailbox from a months-old sandwich photo where Marcus is waving in the background like a foreshadowing in turn. My stomach did a cartwheel and landed on its face. I considered driving over, performing a lobby monologue under fluorescent regret while a doorman played referee. But I'm not auditioning for Man Yells Near Fern. I set my keys down, poured water I didn't need, and let the data keep talking. It never interrupts. At 8:02, the GPS jittered to the elevator area, climbed one floor, then parked. Her heart rate hummed above 150, like a ceiling fan with opinions. At 8:19, a tiny dip suggested a couch. At 8:27, a second wind suggested cardio part 2. The watch tried to be encouraging about intervals. The watch is an optimist, my folder is not. She sent, headed home after this. at 9:05. The dot lingered, then finally left at 9:22 with a small loop behind the building. The kind of detour you take when you remember a lie needs a bow. The city traffic map glowed green. She texted, "Traffic is a mess." I replied, "Drive safe." I'm not here to win snark. I'm here to win clarity. Back home, I stitched timestamps like I was tailoring a suit. 7:06, boring meeting. 7:31, heart rate to 142. 7:36, arrival at Marcus's. 7:38, my call to voicemail. 7:44 to 7:58, sustained over 160. 8:02, elevator blip. 9:22, exit. The shape of the night was a confession drawn in red ink. She walked in at 10:11 smelling like detergent we don't own and a boutique candle named Regret. "Crowded," she said, kissing my cheek. "Phone's in a basket." I nodded and fed the dog to keep my hands busy. The dog ate like a professional. I saved my appetite for facts. Later, in bed, sleep mode tried to bless her with blue arcs and a gold star. The raw log told a different bedtime story. Steps between 10:10 and 10:40, heart rate hovering in the low hundreds like adrenaline forgot to clock out. At 10:29, the watch applauded. Move ring closed. Because nothing says tranquil slumber like finishing cardio in pajamas. I tested my own sanity by rewatching the map like a tiny documentary. The dots didn't change. They never do. I exhaled the last of my hope and inhaled a plan. One more Thursday, I'd said. Fine. But Thursday had already told me its real name. In the morning, she hummed over coffee, told me it was productive, and thanked me for being understanding. I smiled like a polite exit sign. My folder, Receipts Because I'm Tired, had a new wing, the shoe rack exhibit. The narrative could keep its brick restaurant. The numbers had already paid the bill. Calibration night, establishing baseline. I decided to stop arguing with vibes and start graphing. Feelings improvise, numbers do scales. I pulled 3 calm weeks from our shared app and built a museum of her pulse. Monday staff calls, 82 to 92 BPM, steady as elevator music. Tuesday yoga, low 90s, the kind of serenity you get from scented candles and quiet side eye. Real workouts, on the rare day she tolerated a trainer, peaked 150, sometimes 160 if someone yelled about core. That gave me a clean silhouette, normal days hum, real effort climbs. Then I held that silhouette next to the budget meeting nights. The shape didn't hum, it stabbed. A neat plateau at 95, then a sudden leap to 140, then 158, then cling there like a cat on curtains. Not sprint spikes, those pop and fall. This was sustained. Commitment cardio. My stomach took notes. I needed rules before I turned into a conspiracy blog, so I wrote them like a lab coat. Red alert if her heart rate goes over 160 during any quiet block. Yellow flag for sustained 140 plus 10 minutes during meetings. Clown music if sleep mode claims lights out while more than 100 steps happen in half an hour. 3 events, separated by days, before I escalate. No single night heroics, no kitchen court. I tested the hardware because if I'm putting my sanity on a wrist narc, I want calibration. I wore her backup watch and tried to game it. Vigorous wrist flicking? Step slide. Heart rate did not. 2 trips up the stairs. Spiked to 120, settle back in 3 minutes. Sat still, breathed shallow, watched it hold my 68 like a librarian. Put it on the dog, chaos ensued. Conclusion: accelerometer can be dramatic, but the heart sensor is a snitch with tenure. Night 1 of the study landed like a lullaby. She read, scrolled, slept. Heart rate glided down to the 70s, stayed there, 1 bathroom blip, at 3:11 a.m. Step count, 0 except for the blip. Summary and Raw sang the same song. My spine unknotted 1 vertebra. Night 2 volunteered material. Calendar said late client emails. At 8:52, heart rate climbed from 92 to 118 and hung there. At 9:11, 131, then 138, hover, dip, hover. Not damning, just noisy. I logged it as gray. Then at 9:36, she declined my harmless check-in call, and her pulse hopped 10 beats like it remembered a secret. I put my phone down and let the microwave be my therapist again. Night 3 wanted to be innocent and failed the vibe check. Sleep mode flipped at 10:06. The summary drew peaceful REM clouds. The raw ledger said otherwise. Steps ticked 34, then 61, then 103 between 10:12 and 10:29. Heart rate rode the low hundreds like a car idling in the driveway, then slid only after the shower stopped whining. The app still handed out a gold star for asleep by 10:05. Sure, January. I cross-compared quiet nights from last month, the ones that actually looked like sleep. 0 steps, steady descent, a single 3 a.m. spike for water, back down. The meeting nights had signatures. A staircase up at the top of the hour, a plateau above 150, and the kind of post-10 p.m. fidgeting that closes move rings in pajamas. Patterns don't care if you laugh at them, they repeat. To keep myself honest, I ran a placebo night. I set my own sleep mode and doom-scrolled in the dark. The summary pretended I was meditating. The raw data rolled its eyes and logged my thumbs. Translation: summaries sell bedtime stories, logs sell receipts. Guess which store I'm shopping at? I added one harmless pressure test. A plumber appointment she had to sign for between 1 and 3. She texted "got it" with a heart. At 2:13, she wrote, "Traffic is awful." Her GPS sat still inside a residential block. Heart rate: 112, the tempo of definitely not in a car. I marked it as yellow. My rules said don't confront, aggregate. By the end of calibration night, I had a legend taped to my brain. Green, normal drift. Yellow, spicy but arguable. Red, sustained 160 during alleged quiet plus a location fib. 2 reds, equal a conversation. 3 equal terms and conditions. Humor would carry the talk, timestamps would carry the day. The last sanity check was the watch's motion tagging. It had labeled a previous apartment visit outdoor run, which is adorable because balconies are not tracks. I tapped through the sensor data, cadence inconsistent, GPS jitter fixed inside the same building footprint. Mislabeling? Yes. Misreading? No. The heart's rhythm doesn't know PR spin. So I set the board. Notifications toggled. Screen recording rehearsed. Thresholds inked. And one quiet promise to myself: if the numbers and the narrative argue, the heartbeat wins. Not because I want to catch her, because I want to stop catching myself. The digital traps. I moved from vibes to tripwires. Not spy movie nonsense. No plants with cameras. No trench coat near a hedge. Just toggles, nudges, and polite accidents. I turned on every shared health notification our app allows. The ones that toss confetti like a kindergarten teacher. Workout complete. Great, teach, grade it too. Then I slid into device settings and made Find My Device, one reckless thumb tap away. Oops, did I ping? If her phone cozied up to anything named Marcus's living room. I wanted to see that friendship bracelet sparkle. First bait, the calendar friction test. I scheduled a plumber between 1 and 3, must sign for access, and made her the primary contact. Bolded number, can't miss instructions, low stakes pass/fail for reality. She heart reacted. Got it. At 2:13, she texted, "Traffic is awful." The city map looked greener than a salad. Her GPS didn't move. Her heart rate idled at 112, the tempo of couch, not car. I logged yellow and didn't gloat. You don't spike the ball on the 20. Second bait, the AirPlay roll call. Earlier that week, my phone had discovered a new cast device without my consent. Marcus's living room. I screenshotted that lineup like it was senior photos. That name wasn't a clue, it was a monogram. I waited, patient as a librarian with gossip. Third bait, the harmless whoops ping. At 7:12 on a Thursday labeled budget wrap, my thumb slipped. The Find My chime sang, and my screen briefly flashed the connection overlay. Ping sent to her phone, audio output available near Marcus's living room. Not a smoking gun, more like a candle labeled evidence. I captured it anyway. Screenshots don't blush. The app chimed in with its own jazz hands. Outdoor run started. She hates running the way cats hate bathtubs. GPS drifted from her office and took a scenic beeline toward Mr. Living Room. Pace, casual gossip. Heart rate, gradual climb. The watch labeled it intervals, which is generous. I labeled it narrative, meet numbers. I set a new tripwire. A shared shopping list with painfully specific items. Our weird coffee filters, her least favorite moisturizer, dog treats sold only near our house. She checked nothing. Meanwhile, her step log gave a tidy little burst around 9:06, then went still. That's the pattern of someone walking to a door that isn't theirs, stopping, and pretending they didn't. For dessert, the AirPlay ghost reappeared while I opened a YouTube recipe. My phone popped a friendly choice. play on Marcus's living room? Sir, I am not within range. But her device and mine, both blessed by Cloud Overlord, remembered. I declined like a gentleman and saved the moment like a raccoon. I could feel the accusation itch in my throat, so I wrote myself a kindergarten rule. Questions only with exhibits, no monologues until the charts sing harmony. Early confrontation invites improv. Improv invites fog. Fog hides exits. So I stacked Thursday like a Jenga tower. 6:58, boring meeting. 7:11, outdoor run. 7:12, ping overlay says hello to Marcus's living room. 7:19, heart rate passes 140. 7:31, 160. The mapped up paused at the corner like it remembered it had a conscience, then floated into his building with the confidence of a bad decision. I started a screen recording not because I'm dramatic, but because my future self appreciates reruns. Then I added the plumber reschedule email as garnish. No one answered the buzzer, will return Monday. Her text to me at 2:13 claimed gridlock. Her GPS at 2:13 claimed couch lock. The math showed its work. Still, I wanted one trap that felt almost sweet, something that would look innocent in the group chat of my conscience. I added a calendar invite. Budget check at home tomorrow, wine and pasta. She accepted with a heart. If she bailed or ran late, I'd have timestamps cuddling up to the next red line. If she showed, the stage was set for the calmest presentation this marriage has ever endured. At 8:02, GPS jittered by the elevator, then climbed a floor. Heart rate hummed in the 150s like a ceiling fan with secrets. At 8:19, a lull suggested furniture. At 8:27, another climb suggested cardio round 2. The app cheered in orange rings, oblivious to context. The watch does optimism. My folder does context. At 9:05, she texted. Phones in a basket, headed home soon. The dot lingered like it had stage fright, then finally left at 9:22, executed a coy loop behind the building. Second thoughts, souvenir, who knows, and joined a traffic map that screamed clear. She reported messy. I reported drive safe. Sarcasm stayed on silent. Back home, I tidied the timeline, taped it to my patience, and tucked a joke in my pocket. Humor lowers shields. Charts set the terms. Tomorrow wasn't for rage. Tomorrow was for rhythm, her words on one side, her heartbeat on the other, and me in the middle asking which song we're dancing to. I closed the apps, fed the dog, and practiced not raising my voice. The traps had sprung without theatrics. No bushes, no stakeout, no viral fern. Just settings, notifications, and the quiet betrayal of a device that claps for any kind of cardio. The heartbeat doesn't lie, Spike Night. Thursday wore a name tag that said boring, which is cute for a night planning a fireworks show. At 7:04, she texted, starting, the kind of calm preamble you put over elevator music. I set my phone on the counter, screen recording ready, notifications on stun. The shared app showed her sitting pretty at 88 BPM, the pulse of a yawn. Good. Stay boring. I can live with boring. At 7:19, the outdoor run banner slid in like a stagehand tripping over the curtain. She hates running. The GPS that drifted off her office block hesitated like it remembered we were married, then resumed its gentle glide toward Marcus's building. Heart rate, 101, 112, 126. I didn't move. I watched the red line climb, as if it had somewhere better to be. I called. It rang once, coughed, then bounced to voicemail with the chipper professionalism of a receptionist who knows you're not on the list. Her heart rate leaped to 148, then 157. The GPS dot reached the lobby and quivered near the elevator. That little jitter the map draws when metal messes with morals. I whispered to the dog, it's intervals, and he tilted his head like, buddy, I only run for squirrels. At 7:31, the red line crossed 160. It didn't spike, it rose like a sun with opinions. 164, 169, 172. The watch labeled it high-intensity interval training, which is generous. The room felt weirdly quiet, like the numbers were taking up sound. I pinched the screen to zoom the route. The breadcrumb trail ended inside the building's footprint, then a tiny stair step up one floor at 7:34. The kind of move stairs make when they're complicit. She texted, phones in a basket, no calls, at 7:36. The heart rate stayed at 168, as if it had never heard of baskets. I replied, all good, because I am incredibly chill on paper. The confetti animation fired from her app. Move ring on pace. And my dignity tried to jump out a window. Time slowed into 30-second chunks. 7:42, 171. 7:44, 172. Sustained. Not panic. Not treadmill. Commitment cardio. The GPS dot went still, then traced a short line, then still again. Small moves inside an apartment that calls itself a living room on AirPlay like a reality show contestant. I let the recording run. I breathed like an amateur. At 7:58, the line slid to 154, then hovered. At 8:06, it bumped to 161, the second wind anyone with a conscience recognizes too late. The app cheered again with orange ambition. I wanted to mute optimism. I settled for saving it. At 8:12, a noise alerts paused during focus. Banner tried to tuck the night in with a soothing moon. The raw numbers ignored the bedtime story. Steps whispered 23, then 19, then 11. Heart rate, 143, 149. The GPS dot nudged to the kitchen area on the floor plan I once saw in a listing when I looked up rent and called it aspirational. Turns out aspirations have shoe racks. I texted, "Need anything from the store?" At 8:15, a civilian test balloon. No reply. The line didn't budge. At 8:19, it dipped to 132. At 8:27, a crisp rise to 156. I said to no one, intervals, and the dog sighed like man, stopped narrating. By 8:41, the line settled to 119, the cozy pulse of a couch confession that never arrives. At 8:52, a tiny jump, then quiet. At 9:05, her text, headed home. The GPS didn't. It lingered. 9:12, a small loop toward the back of the building that forgot my something detour you draw when you remember you left the truth behind. Then 9:22, departure. Traffic map green. Her next message, traffic is a mess. I sent, drive safe, and didn't donate any sarcasm to charity. I rewound the screen recording and watched in silence, as if it were a nature documentary. The predator approaches the watering hole. The antelope texts phones in a basket. The heart rate narrates the hunt. It's almost soothing when you remove the part where it's your life. At 9:39, she pinged almost home, just as the app prepped wind down. The GPS tagged our street at 9:58. At 10:03, sleep mode flipped the crescent moon like a hall monitor. The raw steps said otherwise. 34, 61, 103 between 10:10 and 10:29. Heart rate at home, 106, 112, 108. The watch through confetti. Move ring closed. Like bedtime is a marathon finish. She came in at 10:11 with hair that looked air-dried by poor decisions and a scent that belonged to a soap I don't buy. Long night, she said, kissed my cheek, and disappeared toward the shower. The bathroom fan started its whine like applause for the wrong actor. I refreshed the log out of spite. The heart rate drifted down to 97, then 88, then, finally, into the 70s. The summary drew serene arcs. The raw data kept its receipts. When she reappeared in pajamas, I tested my voice and found it functional. Budget check tomorrow? I asked light, like we were planning to alphabetize receipts and not amputate a reality. Sure, she said, equally light, which is a tone people use before disaster movies cut to black. She went to bed. I sat with my screen recording and whispered to the empty room. Okay. I exported the file and labeled it the way my future needs. Spike night, 172 BPM, texts overlay. I added it to receipts because I'm tired, and then, because I'm also kind to myself now, I closed every app. I pet the dog. I drank water. I didn't rehearse the speech. Numbers had already written it. At 11:06, my own heart rate finally stopped auditioning for percussion and slid under 60 like a tenant paying rent. The house got quiet in a way I could stand. Tomorrow wasn't a showdown, it was a reading. Her narrative on one page, her physiology on the other, and me in the middle asking which one she wanted to live in. The sleep data inconsistency. Morning put on its nothing to see here face.